Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Tom from OpenOps, and this will be our webinar with Finout. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to start in just 2 minutes. We're going to let everyone join in and kind of join in on the fun. We are going live both on Zoom and on LinkedIn Live. So in case you guys are missing your Zoom invite and can't figure out a way to make it in here, which probably will mean you won't hear this talk anyways, we will go live on LinkedIn momentarily, so stay tuned. Just 1 more minute, we're going to let everyone kind of come in and make sure that we have everyone involved, so stay with us. We have some great folks with us today. Aside from the folks you already know, which are Amit and Rita, we also have Alexander joining us from the lovely, not North Carolina?
Right.
Right, not North Carolina. Where are you located at?
No, I didn't. No, you got it right. North
Oh,
Carolina.
I did get it right. Okay, so from lovely North Carolina, and that should be great. Lee supposedly decided to join. He will now be removed because he should not be here. And then other than that, I'm really excited, and we're gonna start in just one moment. Just one moment. 3, 2, 1, and we are live on LinkedIn. All right. I want to say, first of all, welcome to everyone joining us right here on LinkedIn, just to make sure that everyone's with us. My name is Tom. I am from OpenOps. I run marketing here. With me are the lovely founders of the company, Amit and Rita. And in addition, we have Alex from Finout. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. As people coming in on LinkedIn and on Zoom, I want to make sure that everyone can kind of be aware of what's going to go on today. So we're going to start off with a few round of introductions, making sure everyone knows everyone. And then afterwards, we're going to go to Amit, who's going to talk a little bit about OpenOps, just share a bit of what we are, what we do, who we are, and then stuff of that variety. Then we're going to go over to Alex, who's going to do a presentation about Finout, talk a little bit about the platform, what's happening there, what are the cool stuff that you can do with it. And then afterwards, Rita, who is our CTO, who always loves presenting, is going to basically tell the tale of how OpenOps and Finout play well together. Hint, hint, they play very well together. We have practiced this demo. It is going to work. That is not a question. That is a statement. And after that, we're going to open the floor up for a little bit of Q&A from the audience, if there's going to be any. If not, we have some great questions lined up just to make sure Alex can tell the tale about what's happening over there at FinOps, and Rita can tell the tale about what's happening over here at OpenOps, and Amit can sit and be pretty, as he usually is. And then before I continue blabbering on for the rest of the conversation, I want to mention again that the recording will be sent to everyone following the end of this webinar. An email will be sent 1 or 2 days later with a link to the recording. In addition, if LinkedIn Live will be willing to let me go live, for some reason it does not, we will also be live on LinkedIn momentarily. Okay, we're going to get started. Let's do a small round of introduction. Let's start with Amit. Amit, who you are? Who are you? What is this?
Hey guys, so nice to meet you. I'm Amit. I'm the co-founder and CEO of OpenOps. In terms of my background, mostly software engineering, worked on cloud engineering at Microsoft, built a few Azure services. After that, moved to a few cybersecurity companies, built products on top of AWS as well. All throughout, ran into a lot of problems with FinOps, with automation, and now privileged to be a part of the movement to solve these problems.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Amit. Rita, who are you and what are you doing here?
Hello, everyone. So I'm Rita. I'm the CTO and co-founder, and yeah, I'm a dev. That's what I do.
Okay, very cool. Alex, who are you? Where are you hailing from?
Yeah, so I'm Alex, manager of sales engineering over at Finout. So representing that side today, I'll be talking a little bit about what we do and how it works with OpenOps.
Very, very cool. So let's start a little bit with Amit telling us how and what OpenOps is. Can you tell us a little bit about the company? Well, I also work, which is not for me, it's for the rest of the audience. I'm going to stop talking now.
Yeah. I think I can tell you about the company you work in.
Can you though? Can you really?
Audience as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, OpenOps was built to solve not the visibility problem, but the operational problem. What happens when you have a visibility system, a great system like Finout, and then you want to operationalize all the issues that come across there, the anomalies, handle budget surges, etc. How do you build the operations of doing that and scale that through a complex enterprise? And we believe you do that by creating connectivity and automation that keeps the human in the loop when necessary, and does automation without the human in the loop when possible, in order to really scale all the FinOps processes. And as part of that connectivity, what we need to do is to connect with other platforms that bring great value on their own. And this webinar is a part of a series of webinars in which we partner with other great FinOps platforms in order to showcase how you can build really scalable FinOps practice as part of that. And today, we are very proud to host Alex from Finout here and to showcase what you can do with these two systems together, because Finout as a player has always been a very impressive platform since the moment they came out of stealth. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And since then they've skyrocketed, and I've seen them scale throughout their journey. It's absolutely amazing. When I was an engineering manager working on AWS, I think they didn't exist yet. And since then, I see them releasing more and more capabilities and taking over more and more of the market and really challenging some of the leaders in the field. And that's amazing to see from the sidelines. Yeah, very excited for this collaboration. Everything you'll see here is, of course, part of the automations on the OpenOps side are part of our open source project. We'll appreciate a few stars. OpenOps at GitHub. If you search for OpenOps Cloud GitHub, you'll find it quite quickly. And of course, if you want to take away the things that you see here and implement them in your organization, we'll be glad to discuss this with you. We're available at our Slack community, slack.openops.com. And so everything you will see here, you are able to also use and join our Slack community to discuss this with us. You're invited to do so. That's it. Let's get going. Let's see the platforms.
All right. Thank you very much, Amit. I want to apologize to everyone who's with us or tried to be with us on LinkedIn. Unfortunately, LinkedIn is having an outage on the live streaming service, which means we will not be able to live stream the event on LinkedIn. If anybody works here for Microsoft, please let them know that this is not the first time this has happened to me with LinkedIn Live. Let's get that fixed, please. Thank you. However, there still will be a recording that will be sent to everyone at the end of the meeting. And if you do want someone to join while we're doing this, you can send them your own Zoom invite link. They will appear as you. We will know they are not you. We'll know they are someone else. That's perfectly fine to do so. And we just appreciate everyone kind of chiming in. Again, apologies. As I said, we did prepare for this, and we've done these webinars many times before. And yet, life is how life is. Alexander, can you tell us a little bit about Finout? Show us a little bit what you're going to show, and then and then. Just go ahead.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so I'll pull my screen up in just one moment. Just a quick overview, though. Finout is a holistic FinOps platform. We're very focused on providing visibility, allocation, and all the use cases off of that to help drive action and collaboration across engineering, finance, product, leadership, and really getting everybody to work together. Hence why working with OpenOps to help drive some of those automations and actions across our org is going to be really important. So with that, I'll go into what I'm planning to show today. So let me just share my screen real quick. I'll go right to it as soon as I get my Zoom toolbar out of the way. All right, so we're going to start first in the mega bill. This is really the glue where all of the data is coming together. You'll notice on the left side, we do a lot of different things that I'm not going to have time to talk about today, specifically around dashboards, financial planning, cost guard with recommendations. However, again, when we think about the first steps of getting all of this data into the platform, bringing in your hyperscalers, your SaaS providers, Kubernetes visibility, all of that is going to be here and easily accessible down to the very detailed billing data that we're getting, of course. Now, what we're going to focus on today, though, as well, is our virtual tags, which is one of our superpowers here at Finout, where we're able to, in real time, allow you to generate rules and logic-based conditions to organize your data in whatever way is most relevant. So to start off, I'll show a little bit of, let's say we have some different departments like our Tel Aviv department or our New York City department. And then within those departments, I may have different teams. So when I want to go down and drill into those teams, I can see I have the data team and the core team within those different departments that I have allocated cost to. Now, again, if I go back up to the top though, and I first do that by those different departments, you'll notice that we do have some untagged or unmapped spend per se. To keep it simple for today, let's say, for example, that what we have is we organize by AWS accounts, a very common strategy that we see with a lot of customers. Well, what I can do is through these groupings, through these filterings in the mega bill, save that as a view to quickly access it. And in this case, I'm looking at the unmapped teams by those AWS accounts. And I can see I have one really large account that is not currently being allocated or attributed to those teams. So I'm not able to hold them accountable for that spend. Like I mentioned, we do have these virtual tags where we can build them in real time, whether you're in the UI or via the API, to come in and say, hey, I'm going to map those different accounts to my different teams. But what we found is that over time, being able to do this in the UI is great for some non-technical stakeholders. Being able to do this through the API is great for our technical stakeholders. However, going back to that core principle of we want to help drive automation. We want to help get our team members across the org, some of our resource owners, our business budget owners, responsible for their cost. Maybe they're not logging into the tool all the time, and we want to make it easy for them to collaborate. So one of the ways that we thought about doing that is utilizing OpenOps to help maybe automate some of these rule updates. And at that, I'm going to pause real quick and pass it over to Rita.
Yeah, thanks, Alex. All right, let me share my screen in a second. 1 second. It seems like I have some. No, it's okay. Had some network problems, but that was solved. All right, so yes, so you're looking now at the latest version of OpenOps, which will be available later on this week. And in this version, we added more capabilities to our Finout integration. And namely, we allow you now to pull data from Finout Megabill views and also virtual tags and the ability to tag resources. So as Alex mentioned, we have here this very large account that is untagged. And let's see how we can build together an automation that will fix that. So I have here my workflow that every day is pulling information from Finout. And I'm doing this by pulling from that view all of the untagged AWS accounts. After that, I'm also pulling all of the virtual tags. So this way, the systems are always synchronized. So if you change something in Finout, everything is automatically reflected in OpenOps. And I'm running here on all of those untagged accounts, and I'm sending a message on Slack to the FinOps owner to ask if they would like to assign it to a particular team. I'm waiting for a response. And if they say yes and assign it to a specific team, I'm going to add a virtual tag to do that. So let's run this workflow live, and I'll show you what this looks like. So as you can see here, I'm going to pull all of the information now from Finout. And there we go. It's pulling all the data. And you will see in a moment the message. We have here now the workflow is paused. The message was sent, and I'm waiting now for the approval. And this is what the message looks like. So I have here my untagged AWS account. Finout has found an AWS account that has no team tag. Would you like to assign it to a specific team? And I have here my account name, the total cost. I can go back to Finout to investigate this further. And I can also select the team to assign this to. Whereas if I select a particular team, it will ask me if I would like to tag. Now, everything that you see here is completely customizable. So this message, the fact that it's even on Slack and not on Teams, it can be Jira ticket, linear, Google spreadsheets, whatever it is that you use in your organization, you can customize your workflow to send those notifications in the most efficient way for you. So as you can see, the workflow is paused. So I'm going to pass it over now back to Alex as our FinOps representative to click on that button and see what happens in Finout following that.
Amazing. All right. Let me share my screen back out. All right, so I've got this channel pulled up. We can see the same exact message again. If we wanted to go drill down into this, we say, hey, before I say who this belongs to, I need to go investigate it. This is actually going to take you right back into the mega bill, allow you to do all of the drilling, the interactivity that you might need. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say that it belongs to the data team. So in this case, yes, I would like to tag it. That's fantastic. It's going to process back through the remainder. We get this success notification saying that I have sent it back to the data team. Now, as it goes through, just as a reminder, these virtual tags, again, update in real time. So whether we're doing this UI, API, or in this case, through our handy dandy integration, we'll be able to make sure that data is reflected quickly and effectively. So all I'm going to do is just refresh because that just went through. Make sure that it's loaded back in. I'm going to go to my unmapped accounts that I was using earlier that I saved as that view. And so when I come in, you'll notice that account starting with E that had, what was it, 800 something thousand of unallocated spend is no longer in the list. It has truly been allocated. So now if I want to ultimately clear my view and then just reinvestigate that, let's just go to the departments again, show that this is in fact straight through. So now I've got that Tel Aviv department. I have the data team underneath them. And then when I say I want to filter to the data team, or I could set up a custom drill down, show it to me by those different accounts. So I'll do it by AWS account name. And then as soon as we get in here and we start seeing which accounts there are, we can see exactly that large account that has now been properly allocated. That's going to ultimately flow through to things that we're tracking, such as our financial plans. If there's potential optimizations, like we're in AWS, maybe I've got some idle resources, or I've got some GP2s that could be migrated to GP3s, all sorts of things to optimize. Now I know who owns it. And then when we think about further integrations with OpenOps in the future, such as automating maybe some of those recommendations through our Coast Guard API, we now know who owns it. We can do that same type of workflow and have a complete FinOps process, no matter where you sit within the org. So that's what I had for today.
All right, Alex, thank you so much for giving us kind of the rundown from what it looks like from the Finout perspective. And thank you, Rita, for being awesome as always and being ready with the demo right in time. Before we kind of move further, I did want to say something that is important. There is a Q&A button, which many of you have already discovered, ready right there at the bottom of the screen. So if you have any questions, this is the time. We're going to go into Q&A mode. We actually had some questions prepared, but it looks like we have quite a few questions coming in, which Rita is very, very thoroughly asking, and we're going to repeat them momentarily. But if you have any questions, use the quick Q&A button at the bottom, or use the chat. Both are valid options. Please use the Q&A version anyways, because it makes much more sense and it's there for that reason. But just to answer the first few questions that's coming in. Oh my God, Rita, you are fast. I know you're typing literally as I'm speaking. So on the answered side, Erez David Steinman, did I say it correctly? Erez David Steinman said, what happens to other items in a loop while we wait for an approval? Rita mentioned the approvals are sent in parallel, so everything is processed. In addition, what he says was, if I have 100 accounts without allocations, will I get 100 notifications? Rita, that's a you question. You can answer it live and not in writing.
Yeah. So it depends how you want to send it. If you have 100 accounts, so I would recommend at first that you tailor your workflow a little bit differently. So instead of sending an individual message, maybe you want to send a message with bulk, or for example, send a link to a spreadsheet or something where you can change all of that in bulk, and only then at the end do they apply the changes. So, but then after that, after you've handled the initial load of all of these accounts, once you have that workflow that runs now daily, now the load is going to be significantly lower each time, and you can expect like incremental messages that will pop out every now and again.
It's probably a good time to talk a little bit about the control flow logic that we allow in OpenOps. So aside from loops, which is what you just saw, there's actually quite a lot of potential logic flows you can have, right? Rita, that's a you question, probably.
Yeah. So you can use conditions. You can pull the data from any source that you would like, and you can also write it to any source. So like it doesn't have to be a Slack message for an individual resource. So all completely customizable.
Very, very cool, if I might say so myself with my biased voice. Alexander, there is a question here of, do you have any examples of how this can be used with Coast Guard? Now, this is in the OpenOps side. I think it's clear, like we can figure out an automation around it. But do you have any concrete thoughts about using this with Coast Guard?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do have the Coast Guard API. And by the way, all of our documentation is public. Anybody's welcome to go take a look at anything involving the APIs.
Sorry for stopping you, but maybe explain to the people who might not know what Coast Guard is. What is
Yeah,
Coast Guard?
absolutely.
Yeah,
So
sorry.
Cost Guard is really our suite of optimization recommendations. We're actually doing a lot to add to it over the coming months. But currently, right now, we're already getting recommendations around things like Kubernetes right sizing around CPU and memory requests, things around AWS or GCP idle or right size type resources, things that you would normally consider to be optimizations in that sort of space. And what we're doing is we're providing the details around where they live, what the recommendation is. And so through the API, being able to extract that type of data, we're going to be able to not just show it in the UI, but obviously allow you to go use that data however you would like. So for now, that would normally be whatever custom scripting you want to do. But with a tool like this, we can design workflows that are easier to interact with some of our stakeholders that maybe aren't engineers.
Appreciate it, answer, Alexander. One comment, another question from Brian. I'm very bad at this. From Brian D'Altilio. Any demo setup to show this? Rita mentioned that, yes, you invite to join our community where we can share the workflow. Quick comment about OpenOps workflows generally. They are shareable, meaning you can share a workflow from one person to another. Think about it like an automation language or a template or a Terraform, whatever. Like you can figure out exactly how to do the exact same thing as somebody else with your own configuration settings, your own cloud accounts, your own sources, syncs, whatever it is that you need. So every single workflow that you see on the OpenOps platform can be shared between multiple people, worked on by multiple people, and is, to the best of my knowledge, Rita, correct me if I'm mistaken, version controlled as well. Okay, good. So after that, Rita, quick question. Should we talk a little bit about, you know what? No, I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to ask Alexander instead because he's the guest and you talk a lot, Rita. No, I'm kidding. So quick question. How can I get 100% cost allocation without retagging everything? It's one of Finout's kind of, I don't know, it's something that came up a lot when we talk to people about Finout. Like how, if you're looking at the way we try and, so tagging is like the default standard. Right? Basically, that's how you do cost allocation. Any way to get further cost allocation without manually retagging everything?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really is taking the virtual tags that I showed earlier and running with it. So of course, if you have some tags in place, they're not perfect, there's gaps, there's things that can't be tagged, totally fine. We'll take what you have and we'll help get that normalized and cleaned up. Then filling in the gaps with, for example, today, like, hey, I know particular accounts belong to different teams, or maybe I know particular services within a certain region belong to a team. I have labels on Kubernetes. That's sort of the basis of it. But even further, the next level of that is doing shared costing within the tool as well. So if I have support charges that are really important to my showback chargeback process and my budgeting that need to be spread out to my teams, I have shared infrastructure, like let's stick with the AWS example. I have a really large shared S3 buckets that can't be tagged to the individual teams because they're sharing them. Well, what we can do is we can ingest metrics to allow them to split to the team based on usage, like, for example, gigabytes stored in that S3 example, or maybe it's number of objects. But using that type of data to help drive complete allocation to your organization is what we're doing with virtual tags.
Very cool. And while we're on the topic, Megabill is a very unique product in the space, I think. I'm trying to figure out if I were to compare Megabill to other quote unquote traditional cost tools, what would be the main differentiation in your opinion?
Yeah, I'm going to say less what I think and more what I hear. I think that's probably more fair. What we tend to hear from a lot of our customers.
That was a very good spin on the question, by the way. Great answer. Please continue.
I try. Not to spin, but to keep it relevant. So with that being said, one of the biggest things for me when I came here and what we hear from customers is it's just how easy it is and how intuitive it is. Instead of having to go consistently recreate the same widget 100 times, to have to go to one place to drill down and then go to another place to do an investigation, it's really the glue. It's where if I am on a dashboard and I see something, great, I can go straight to the Megabill and start investigating. If I get an anomaly alert in my, say, Slack channel and I want to go investigate and figure out what's driving it, it's right there. It's really just easy to drill, put the data where you need it, see it how you need to consume it, and get your answers.
You did. Very cool. While we're on the topic, one of the things we pride ourselves over at OpenOps is our ability to integrate with multiple different platforms, and specifically multiple different clouds and the Kubernetes compute platform. I think that one of the interesting things that people might want to hear is about how Finout looks at kind of the general multi-cloud / hybrid cloud / more, call it more than one cloud situation, and Kubernetes more specifically, and how this differ from working on a single cloud without any type of orchestration like Kubernetes in it. So to ask a concrete question, which you can answer easily, how does Finout handle multi-cloud in general and Kubernetes specifically?
Yeah, so in the multi-cloud realm, I mean, we're read only, so it's very easy for us to consume the billing data from the hyperscalers or the SaaS providers. So what we really think about is ingesting that data. I've mentioned virtual tags obviously a few times. If we want to get that into, say, like a focus format or some sort of consolidated format, we can do that very easily as well using the virtual tags. On the Kubernetes side, though, the way that we tend to think of it is truly as a multi-cloud problem. We do have customers that are single cloud, only using, say, EKS with AWS, but most of our customers are spread across different cloud providers. And so what we're able to do is we're actually agentless, and we ingest those Kubernetes metrics to get the utilization data at the pod level tied back to the billing data from these different cloud providers. And now you have a synthesized single source of truth to be able to report across not just native billing dimensions, but now everything relevant to what was the black box of Kubernetes that's now been opened up.
And I think maybe more on following up on that and kind of moving back to the integration side of things. I think that, again, I'll repeat that. I feel like OpenOps is really more of a middle layer between us and multiple other factors. And I think that some people are kind of worried about where to start. Like how you even approach the problem of, okay, so I have recommendations or I have situation coming in or a policy coming in over from Finout, and I try to kind of get started with OpenOps on that note. Rita, how do you feel like what would be the first step, or like how would you get started with automating cost optimization activities using both a platform, the Finout platform, sorry, and OpenOps?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I think that actually, so Brian, I couldn't help myself. I'm building now the workflow that you asked about to pull the scans. And actually, this is exactly what, this is the first thing that I would do. So you would use an amazing system such as Finout to see all of the recommendations that you have. And from there on, the best thing, in my opinion, would be to start pulling those recommendations and to start kind of like just to getting a sense of what you can do that is safe to apply automatically. What can you do just to automate even half of it? And it doesn't always have to be like full-blown automation from start to end, where you automatically go and delete all of your resources or right-size stuff in production. Even half automation is also helpful because it saves you time. So for example, if you have an automation that just helps you with the manual work of even opening those Jira tickets or sending reminders, that's already a lot of time that is being saved. So I would start with that.
I can also chime in on that. So
No, I'm kidding. You can chime in.
Yeah, well, I can. If I want, I can. No, I'm kidding. Also, another thing that I would recommend is to look at our templates at OpenOps. When you, in the homepage, you have templates where you can see a lot of examples for great automations that are battle tested, that we have found to be very useful with our user base. And right now, the examples there are mostly using CSP native services, so services like Azure Advisor and AWS Compute Optimizer and GCP FinOps Hub, etc. However, it's very easy to change the source of the recommendation to Finout, and there you have like operational workflows that can really help in your day-to-day, with lots of examples on how you would do that. And in the future, this is Alex, we need to work on that. We can add also in our catalog examples with Finout directly as well as with the other platforms that we are integrating into our open source project. By the way, all these templates are available for any open source user. It's also available for free, and I welcome you all to explore that.
Okay. Sorry about that. Before we wrap up, we got about a minute and 30 seconds left. Amit, any specific plug you want to make before we close this off?
Super excited to see this collaboration. I think this is just the start. As you saw, we quadrupled the number of actions we have supported in 1 week, and I expect for it to continue this way. We will support more and more actions by Finout. The integration will get deeper and deeper, and I believe, with a great platform with such great well-documented APIs like Finout, you can expect a lot from both of us.
Thank you very much, Amit. Rita, final words? No final words. You spoke already too much. Alex, any final words, plug, something interesting happening by FinOut soon?
I mean, FinOps in general is interesting, right? Things change rapidly. Just appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys, and we're excited about what's coming.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Tom, and if you need anything, I'm available at tom@openops.com. A recording will be sent to you after this event is done. Stay tuned with the email you signed to on the LinkedIn form. Please note that sometimes it is your personal email, not your corporate email, so check your personal email as well instead of the corporate email. I'm sorry that the LinkedIn Live integration didn't work. I blame someone who is not us on this. So again, apologies for that. And again, note that OpenOps is free and open source software. Amit doesn't like when I say free and open source, but it is a free and open source to get started with. It is open source 100%, by the way, not open core. It is open source. And I want to make sure that you know that you can go to github.openops.com to get our GitHub repo and to slack.openops.com to join our Slack community. We also have a website, which surprisingly is at openops.com. You can read more about the tool, the situation, and everything else that's going on. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, wherever you are in the world. Bye-bye now.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
everyone. Take care.
Thank
you,
you.
Alex.
Bye-bye.
Thank